Hey everybody, this is a clip from the latest episode of the Randi Rhodes Show. If you want the full episode, you can watch live on Free Speech TV, Dish Channel 9415.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
At the end of the day, we got to ask ourselves a very simple question, whether it's healthcare, in fact, or anything else. Why are we the only major country on earth that doesn't guarantee healthcare to all people, pay the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs, have 87 million people uninsured or underinsured, 30,000 die because they don't get to a doctor on time, and 500,000 people going bankrupt? For what reason? Because they have cancer or heart disease or Alzheimer's. We got to ask that question. Why is it? Why have we been talking about health care in this country for 100 years? And here is the answer. If you want real change in health care, at the end of the day, you're going to have to take on the insurance companies and tell them the function of healthcare is healthcare for all, not huge profits for the insurance companies. You're going to have to take on the drug companies and their corruption and their price fixing and tell them, sorry, we're not going to pay 10 times more for prescription drugs than do the people of other countries. But at the end of the day, there's no way around it. You may want to nibble around the edges, but ultimately we need to rally the American people to tell the drug companies, to tell Wall Street, to tell the insurance companies, to tell the fossil fuel industry, this country belongs to all of us, not a handful of specialists.
Mayor Buttigieg, wrap this up and then I have heard this conversation on this debate stage from these people now every single debate, and they're all right. Everybody on this stage is better on economic justice and health care than anybody in the Republican Party, and a million times better than Donald Trump. That is not the question in front of us today. The question in front of us today is, how are we going to beat Donald Trump? You were in the Clinton campaign in 1992, and the mantra was, it's the economy, stupid. Well, if you look at what Mr. Trump is saying, he's saying those words. It's the economy, stupid. I trust every one of these people a million times more. But we're going to have to take Mr. Trump down on the economy, because if you listen to him, he's crowing about it every single day, and he's going to beat us unless we can take him down on the economy, stupid. And that's the issue here. It is not about who has the best health care plan. All the health care plans are better, a million times better. The question is, who can go toe-to-toe with Mr. Trump? Who can take down Mr. Trump because he's the real threat to the country? And let me say, you have to have experience to take him down. This is not a question of he's a nice guy who's going to listen. We need people with experience. That's why I'm worried about Mayor Pete. You need to be able to go toe-to-toe with this guy and take him down on the debate stage, or we're going to lose. And that's actually the issue in front of Democratic voters.
So Tom Steyer points out that all the details of all the different healthcare plans, which all include a public option, or the Bernie plan, which is one public option for each and every body, which would tend to lower the price real fast of healthcare because everybody would be in the same system. So just saying, okay? But obviously, the economy is so completely effed for so many people. Healthcare is so completely a mess for so many people, for people who are sick, for people who are advocating for their sick parents, for people who are suffering with terminal disease. I mean, they only know one word in healthcare, and that's, hospice. No, there's something that is covered in Medicare called palliative care, and it seems like nobody in the healthcare industry, no doctors, no PAs, no aid, nobody knows that word. It's comfort care. It's for people who are not ready to die, only need to be comfortable, because they could be sick for another 5 freaking years and no one in the healthcare business knows that word. Something is so broken in our system because the only people who have access to our doctors are prescription drug companies that use strippers to sell God knows what to them, or promises them vacations in the Virgin Islands if they write X amount of prescriptions for their drug, or to keep them from writing what a patient deserves to have under their insurance policy or under Medicare. It is such a sick and broken system. It's not just lobbyists in Washington. It's lobbyists in your doctor's office. And they think we're stupid. And if they think we're stupid, do you know how they talk to your parents? Do you have any idea how they talk to your parents who have absolutely no idea how this system is or how it works or how to work it? You know why? Because they're sick. They don't feel well. How is somebody supposed to navigate this alone or with some kid who doesn't know jack about the system? I mean, this is just so unbelievable. It is so gross and so hard and so unbelievably frustrating because one hand does not know what the other hand is doing. I got to tell you, I don't know how people are doing it. And here's Donald Trump's budget. Here's his budget. And he wants to actually cut. He wants to cut Medicare. He really wants to do this. He wants to cut the children's health insurance program. He wants to cut Medicaid. He wants to cut the Environmental Protection Agency's budget by 26%. He wants to cut health and human services by almost 10%. He wants to cut education in this country by 8%. He wants to cut the Department of the Interior, which he says needs to rake the forest floors. He wants to cut their budget by 13.5%. He wants to cut housing assistance by 15%. He wants to cut the State Department's budget by 22%. He wants to cut everything that you need to live, to educate your kids, to get your children health insurance. Oh my God, it's just unbelievable. And he wants to increase the budget for defense spending, and he wants to increase the budget for NASA by 12% so he can have a stupid Space Force. I mean, this is just the sickest thing I've ever seen in my life. He's already added $1 trillion to the deficit, which will exceed $1 trillion for the first time since 2012. And he's telling you, oh, this will all pay for itself at 3% growth, which he has never, ever achieved. Growth in this country is 2.3% in a good quarter. In a good quarter. The man is so disgusting. He wants people to be needy. He wants people to be disoriented. He wants people flailing in the healthcare system. He wants people not to understand how to get their children to a hospital or why they can't take a deep breath of clean air anymore. He literally is a killer. And I mean that in every sense of the word. The Department of Education, he wants to cut 8%. He wants to cut the children's health insurance program, Health and Human Services, by 10%. What's wrong with this? Does this seem right to you? And he thinks that, all he has to do is point at someone and call them a name and everybody will turn. No, Americans understand that we're not doing better. Americans understand it's getting worse. Americans understand that he's cutting, the seniors' benefit that they earned by working their whole lives. They understand that their children need health insurance. They understand that cutting the EPA by 26% is not a good idea. My God.